Welcome to Info Nation, your source for reliable information. Today, I'm here with Kayla Kolaski on behalf of Dr. Patricia Bath. Kayla, can you tell me a little bit of background about Patricia Bath?
Dr. Patricia Bath is a very famous ophthalmologist. She invented something that was called the laser probe to help prevent cataracts for people with vision impairments.
How does this laser probe work?
The laser probe is a tool that replaced the mechanical grinder. I think that the name mechanical grinder is enough to scare any patient away. So the laser probe is just a more successful and safe tool that they use. What they do is they'll cut a slit into the individual's eye, and then they use the laser to blast the cataract and the old lens, and then they use a suction tube to take the cataract and the old lens out, and then they replace that old lens with a new lens.
Interesting. Does Dr. Bath have any accomplishments?
Yeah, she has several accomplishments. One of her first accomplishments were right when she graduated from college. She received the Merit Award, and then she was actually the first African-American surgeon to become a surgeon at the UCLA Medical Center. And she was also a co-founder of a training program that was called the Ophthalmology Residency Training Program, where she was later pronounced the chair of this program.
Interesting. Is there anything else you want to add about Dr. Patricia Bath?
Dr. Patricia Bath, she always said that everyone has the right to sight, so she has fixed a lot of people's visual impairments, and I think that she will continue to do this throughout her years as an ophthalmologist.
Well, thank you so much for being here today, Kayla. Please stay tuned for more Info Nation.
Welcome back to Info Nation. My name is Kayla Kolaski, and I am here today with Amy Miller on behalf of Valerie Thomas. Please, Amy, could you tell us a little bit about Valerie Thomas?
Yes, Valerie Thomas is an African-American woman who is an inventor. She grew up in Virginia in the 1940s and was very interested in math and science. But at this time, girls were not really supposed to be interested in math and science. It was more of a man's field. So as a young child, she took it upon herself, reading books and educating herself on her own to learn more about math and science.
Tell me, Amy, how did she teach herself at such a young age?
It all began with a book called A Boy's First Book on Electronics. This book, she was hoping to work with her father on doing different projects in the book. Her father enjoyed working on radios and televisions, so she thought this would be a great opportunity for the two of them. Well, unfortunately, her father was not supportive in her interest in math and science and did not help her. So she ended up working through the book on her own, doing different projects and learning about math and science.
So where did she move on from here in her inventions?
Well, with their lack of encouragement from people, she attended a high school, which was actually all girls, so yet again, she didn't have much support there. So she ended up going to a university called Morgan University, and here she was one of two females to major in physics. So here she excelled in her classroom and learned the mathematics needed for her future career.
Where did Valerie's professional career begin?
Well, after graduation, she ended up working for NASA and worked there through retirement. So she started working on various projects and experiments there and started experimenting specifically with concave mirrors, which led to her invention of the illustration transmitter.
Did she have any other major accomplishments?
Oh yes, Valerie had a lot of accomplishments. She played pivotal roles in the invention of Landsat, which was a satellite that transmitted images from space back down here to Earth. She also did research with Halley's Comet, the Voyager satellite, and ozone holes.
Well, thank you for being here today, Amy. Stay tuned and we will be back with more on Info Nation.
Welcome back to Info Nation. My name is Amy and I'm here with our last guest, Jenna Thompson. She's here to talk about Madam C.J. Walker. Tell me a little bit about Madam C.J. Walker, Jenna.
Well, Madam C.J. Walker was actually born Sarah Breedlove in 1867. One neat thing about her birth was that she was born, the first in her family to be born after the Emancipation Proclamation was signed. She lived with her family, her mom and dad and brothers, on a plantation. Unfortunately, her mother and father passed away when she was 5 years old, so she was forced to move to Louisiana, where she worked at her brother's hair care salon for only $1.50 a day.
So Jenna, what exactly did Madam C.J. Walker do?
Well, at this time, indoor plumbing was very scarce. In fact, there was no indoor plumbing whatsoever. Women in these days would only bathe about once a month, which was very unhealthy for their scalp. This would create scalp disease in women. She tried a ton of products over the counter, but none seemed to work for her, so she started experimenting in her own home.
So what did she exactly come up with?
Well, she and her friend, Annie Malone, worked together to come up with a shampoo that contained sulfur. The sulfur in this shampoo made the hair healthier for growth. She named her product Madam Walker's Wonderful Hair Grower, which contained a shampoo, a brush, and a hair growing cream.
So what happened next?
Next, she, her husband, and daughter, Leela, moved to Pittsburgh, where they opened their own college. At this college, they taught people how to properly take care of hair and opened somewhat of a cosmetology school, what we would call it today. They then moved to Indiana, where they established their headquarters.
So what were her major accomplishments?
Well, not only was Madam C.J. Walker a great person, she was very wealthy. She was the first African-American female to become a millionaire. Not only was she a millionaire, she inspired other African-American women to chase their dreams just like she did.
Is there any other information you'd like to share about Madam C.J. Walker?
Sure. When she was 52 years old, unfortunately, she passed away in her home. But when they discovered her will, she had ordered in her will that only women could be head of her company, which was a great thing for women at that time as they were becoming more involved in society.
Well, thank you so much for sharing information about Madam C.J. Walker. She sounds like a fantastic individual. And thank you so much for joining us on Info Nation, your source for reliable information.